This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Flames erupt at a Far East Side apartment complex. Breaking now here at 6 o'clock. We're live this morning with how many people authorities say were taken to the hospital.
Plus, a night out for a birthday celebration in Broad Ripple ends in this big mess. This morning, the message the hit-and-run victim has for the driver who caused this.
And a mom says that her kids were lunch shamed after they ran out of money on their accounts. What she says happened and why she thinks the school should change its lunch policy. Here at 6 o'clock, we do want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday morning. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Alyssa Donovan joining us for a check at the weather. And if you're heading out the door anytime soon, you're going to need a jacket of some sort.
Definitely. And we're actually seeing those temperatures dropping still this morning. So even if you see right now on the screen that it's 50 degrees, which is, I think, what it is. It's still dropping off a little bit. So just a warning, those temperatures much cooler today. This is our coolest start of the season so far. Like I said, 50 degrees right now in Indianapolis, but at the airport, it's 38 degrees, 43 in Muncie, 42 in Peru. It's 45 right now in Plainfield and 43 in Greenwood. So some cool spots on the map this morning, and that's because we have clear skies, not a cloud on the satellite and radar this morning. That is because of that ridge of high pressure in place. That came in yesterday afternoon, helped to dry us out, and it's going to continue to keep us dry today, tomorrow, and into Thursday. Also going to help us warm up very quickly as we head through the day. So as you head out the door this morning, definitely going to want a light jacket because by 8 a.m. those temperatures still dropping off right around 45 degrees as you head out the door. 10 a.m. 54 degrees. You can see plenty of sunshine though. By the noon hour, we'll be right at 65 degrees.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. Here's a live look right now at I-465 and Allisonville Road. This is a view of Allisonville Road. You can see the interstate traffic there moving along up to speed under the bridge. So everything here on the north side of town traveling smoothly. Let's take a look at our traffic now map. We've been monitoring some road work here in the overnight hours on I-65 north of 38th Street. Use caution as you travel through that area, but it looks like everything's traveling up to speed. And we did have some overnight road work here showing a delay as you're heading towards Meridian Street on the north side. But overall, looking at the cameras in that area, I think you are okay for your morning commute. Well, now we do want to get to some breaking news. This is something we've been following all morning long for you. 3 people are now at a hospital this morning after flames broke out at an apartment complex east of Indianapolis.
A woman and 2 police officers were injured in that fire. Good Morning Indiana's Kelsey Anderson is live on the scene. She's actually at Eskenazi Hospital where those victims were brought. And Kelsey, you have some new details for us this morning.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, they were transported here to Eskenazi from Cumberland Manor Apartments over on the east side of Indianapolis. And according to fire officials, an IMPD officer is being hailed a hero this morning after busting down the door to the apartment where that fire started and carrying a 7-year-old to safety. That officer is here now at Eskenazi. Now, take a look at this video of the scene earlier this morning. A kitchen fire started in this apartment, and 9 people are now displaced. While at the scene, we were told the mother of the 7-year-old that was carried out was one of the people transported to the hospital. They tell us a man also jumped off the balcony to safety. We are still working to find out what started this fire, but fire officials on scene say given the time of day and the type of fire, they're lucky that wasn't much worse than what it could have been. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you. RTV6 is working for you with a call to action. This morning, a woman hopes you'll help her track down a hit-and-run driver that left her brand new car totaled. Chelsea Haraway was out for drinks with friends for her birthday last Wednesday. She decided to get an Uber home and leave her car parked along Broad Ripple Avenue. The next morning, she found her car up on the sidewalk and the driver's side with extensive damage.
It just hurts knowing that I tried to do the right thing and Uber home, yet someone else didn't. That could have been a person that you hit. There's already enough going on in Broad Ripple and already enough bad things happening everywhere. We don't need any more situations like this.
Chelsea was able to track down surveillance video showing the crash happen. If you know anything about the driver involved in this hit and run crash, or you see a vehicle with right side damage, please contact Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
Time right now, 6:04. A Central Indiana school district is telling RTV6 it's reviewing its policies and procedures after accusations of lunch shaming. Shayna Lawson tells RTV6 her 2nd and 5th grade daughters came home crying from Harney Elementary School in Lebanon last week. Lawson says the girls were denied breakfast Thursday morning because she did not reload their accounts on time. She says her daughters were so embarrassed they did not want to go back to school.
They were crying, "Mom, please just homeschool me, Mom." And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could. Just pull them aside and tell them, hey, you know, you need to bring money in instead of saying it in front of all the kids. You know, that's wrong.
Lebanon Community Schools says students cannot buy anything when there's no money on their accounts, but an alternate menu option is available for them. The district also says it notifies parents twice weekly about low account balances. When a balance goes negative, a letter is sent home explaining the process to apply for free or reduced price meals. Officials say that they welcome assisting families with any questions regarding food services and payments.
Neighbors in Brownsburg say they are tired of deadly crashes at an intersection they call dangerous. Last week, 16-year-old Josie Cranfield was killed in a crash at State Road 267 and County Road 1000 North. INDOT says they plan to install a traffic light at the intersection, but until that stoplight goes up, neighbors are doing what they can to warn drivers, and you can't miss it. The massive sign has a simple message: slow down, stop ahead. INDOT says the work to install the new stoplight could take more than a year.
One person remains in the hospital this morning, and another person is dead after a shooting at an apartment complex on the south side. Police found the victims near Southport Crossing Apartments around 4:30 on Monday afternoon. Call 6 investigates. Sources say drugs may be at the center of this violence. The names of the victims have not been released. Metro Police say they'll eventually give an update after finding a, quote, person of interest connected to the homicide in Broad Ripple. Just before 5 o'clock Monday afternoon, detectives announced that they located the woman in these pictures just 4 hours after asking the public's help to find her. 36-year-old Alfred Hayes Jr. was shot and killed near Connor's Pub last Thursday.
You can cast your ballot starting today ahead of the municipal election on November 5th. That's because early voting gets underway in the Hoosier State. Council races and some school referendums will be on ballots in parts of Indiana. One of the biggest races locally is for mayor of Indianapolis. Incumbent Mayor Joe Hogsett faces Republican challenger Jim Merritt. You can cast your ballot at the Marion County Clerk's office or 4 satellite voting locations.
Here at 6:07, it is harvest season in Indiana, and that can present a danger on the roads for everybody. This is the time of the year farmers are taking large equipment and driving on all kinds of roadways, and so it's easy to get confused about the rules of the road when you're coming up on a slow-moving vehicle. Working for you, we asked area law enforcement about what you have to know in order to safely share the roads.
And it's not just about safety for the farmer, it's about safety for everyone. Everybody has a right to use the road, whatever equipment you're using on it, but you have to do that together, and the better you work together on that, the safer everybody becomes.
So what's the bottom line here? You need to slow down if you see farm equipment, and do not pass until it's legal and clear to do so. If you follow the rules, you could not only be saving your life, but someone else's as well. Technology, it impacts our lives every single day, so it seems fitting that cybersecurity jobs are among the hottest careers in the country. Just ahead in Hiring Hoosiers, I'll show you how a local school is already preparing students for jobs of the future.
And will your ID fly? We're working for you this morning with what you need to look for before you take off on your next trip. Alyssa.
We have a cool start today, but it's going to be a beautiful fall day. Those temperatures right where they should be this time of year. However, this is the start of a warming trend. Those temperatures close to 80 by Thursday. Some chances of showers and storms in the 7-day forecast. I'll break down all the details coming up.
To choicehotels.com.
Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative looks for ways that schools are preparing students for jobs of the future.
Technology touches just about every aspect of our lives, and that means protecting ourselves, our businesses, and the government entities from wrongdoers is only becoming more and more important.
We know jobs in cybersecurity are in high demand right now, and we can expect them to be in high demand in the future. As I learned, Center Grove students know that, and they're already preparing for careers in that field.
I feel like every day there's a different puzzle.
Put down your pencils and paper. Students at Center Grove High School are hopping online, learning how to navigate the vast world of cybersecurity.
So we've started to, look at malicious files and how they're encoded or encrypted.
Blake Sessler is a junior, and he's one of 33 students taking this first-time course at the high school.
And with classes nowadays, they're based off of what you're going to do in a real-life application. Like, for example, this class, it's based off of, real stuff that you do as a cybersecurity manager. Like, you learn how to decode phishing emails.
The curriculum comes from Project Lead the Way, and the state of Indiana had a grant available for this type of class. Teacher Summer Ayersman tells us that they received that grant and she started her training. Part of the class focuses on personal security and also network security. Students learn how to look for encrypted text, find viruses, and work with firewalls.
Keeping yourself secure, it changes almost every day.
Not only are the hackers and scammers becoming more and more part of society, but so is technology.
And I also think from a personal aspect, it just makes you so aware because every career that you're going to go into, you're going to use technology.
Like senior Meredith Fain, the robotics team member, has an interest in computers and working in this field someday.
And my ultimate goal would probably be to go into penetration testing, which is like where companies hire you to hack them. I think it's like super fascinating.
And she knows a job like this will be in demand, so she's getting a jump start learning those skills.
Security is only becoming more and more important, so it's really critical to be able to have that like secure base for your company so that people you don't want in cannot get in.
Also, some of them want to do digital forensics, so they want to learn how can I, if a crime happens, how can I look at somebody's phone and see what they've done and look through those files.
And senior Josh Stevenson has taken the class.
What makes a good password, how those passwords are usually cracked.
Not because he wants a career in cybersecurity, but because he wants to be a software developer, and he knows that online security will be a big part of his personal and professional life.
All the colleges we were looking at had cybersecurity branches of their computer science. I didn't really know much about it, so I decided I wanted to take it in high school and just get a feel for what it was.
Well, the instructor tells us the only way a class like this is possible is through an organization called Project Lead the Way. That allows students to use their virtual lab and become administrators so they can hack and access the network. The students obviously can't try this stuff on the school's network. For more information on how to get this type of class in your child's school and on Project Lead the Way, you can check out this story at our website, hiringhoosiers.com. It is 6:14. It's Tuesday morning. Finally feeling like fall this morning, Alyssa.
It really feels like fall as you step outside today. Some areas a little bit cooler than even that, in the upper 30s. I think Crawfordsville been hanging on to 38 degrees this morning. We're at 50 degrees right now in Indianapolis. We are dry out there. Humidity is down. Dew points are down. Winds are light, which is the recipe for a chilly start to your Tuesday morning. We're actually going to continue to see those temperatures drop off a little bit still, and that's because of those clear skies. So by about 6:30, we are going to see those temperatures in the mid-40s. 46 by 8:30 this morning here in Indianapolis. So as you step out the door, you're definitely going to want a light jacket today. By the noon hour, we're warming quickly because of those clear skies. 66 by noon, and then the low 70s this afternoon. That is all due to that ridge of high pressure that is keeping those skies very clear. We are not going to see clouds today, only sunshine. That high pressure staying in place today and into tomorrow, most of Thursday, before we see some changes on the way. So those days we're going to continue to see this little warming trend, climbing a few degrees each day with our daytime highs until we're close to 80 degrees by Thursday and Friday. And then we have this, a low pressure system that's just off to our west right now. That's impacting some of our western areas outstate earlier this week, and then that is going to make its way into our area as we head into Friday morning. That's when we'll start to see the potential of showers and thunderstorms. Now, the best chance for showers and storms will will be late Friday, so we'll start with just small potential in the morning before we start to see that build throughout your Friday and into the early evening and overnight hours. But the good news is, looks like Saturday is going to be clear, so that system will move out very quickly Saturday morning, and then we are going to see another change by Saturday afternoon. We are going to see that mild air move out, and the coolest temperatures of our season so far is going to move in with this cool air mass. That is going to take our temperatures into the upper 50s for Saturday afternoon highs. So it's going to be a cool start to our weekend. Today, starting cool this morning in the 40s. We are climbing into the mid 60s by the noon hour, low 70s this afternoon. So we are close to our averages for this time of year, and we are going to continue to warm a little bit as we head through the week. 79 by Thursday, partly sunny skies, and then Friday, storms are likely throughout the day, with the best chance of the stronger storms being Friday evening and overnight. Partly sunny on Saturday. That's going to be our cool day, 58 degrees for the high, before we're back into the 60s Sunday and Monday.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. We do have an active road construction area up here on I-69 near State Road 109 and Scatterfield Road. This is ongoing construction, especially as you're driving through the Pendleton area. You can watch for crews working each night, really. So just use caution as you travel through this spot and you're hopping on the interstate. Let's take a look right now at our Traffic Now map at this hour. We want to take it down to the south side and plan out your commute. Heading northbound along State Road 37 through Greenwood here from Smith Valley Road all the way up to the Harding Street exit at I-465. No delays. It's a 10-minute commute. And then looking across town, traveling northbound along Interstate 65 from all the way down actually to Whiteland Road up to I-70. It's an 18-minute drive. No delays there to slow you down.
We are passing along a health warning if you've eaten in Linton, Indiana lately. The Greene County Health Department says an employee at the Papa John's was infected with hepatitis A. Only customers who ordered from Papa John's in Linton after 3 p.m. on September 30th are at risk. Papa John's has set up a phone line to answer questions about the disease. Indiana is one of several states experiencing a Hep A outbreak. Health officials encourage everyone to check with their doctor about getting a Hep A vaccine. More than 2,000 cases of hepatitis A have been reported in Indiana since 2017.
Here at 6:18, a new sample of West Nile virus has been found in the Hoosier State.
The state health department says mosquitoes in Vigo County tested positive for the virus. Officials say to protect yourself from the virus, avoid being outdoors when mosquitoes are active. Also, wear insect repellent with DEET, and when possible, wear long sleeves and pants, especially if you're walking in wooded or marshy areas. Most people who get West Nile will not have any symptoms. You can prevent potential mosquito breeding grounds by discarding old tires and containers holding water, repair failed septic systems, and drilling holes in recycling containers left outside. No human cases of West Nile have been reported in Indiana. Indiana's health commissioner is urging you to get your flu shot soon because flu cases are already popping up around the state. Since the 2014-2015 flu season, nearly 800 people in Indiana have died from flu-related illnesses. Vulnerable populations include the elderly, pregnant women, young children, and people with chronic illnesses and compromised immune systems. The CDC recommends you get your flu vaccination by late October. It takes about 2 weeks for it to take effect.
At 6:19, General Electric says it is freezing the pension plans of about 20,000 U.S. employees starting in January 2021, and that includes workers at several plants right here in Indiana. Retirees who are already collecting pensions and employees with production benefits will not be impacted. GE's pension plan has been closed to new hires since 2012. The company says it'll offer a lump sum payment option to 100,000 former employees who haven't started their monthly pension plan payments yet. It's also pre-funded nearly $5 billion of its pension obligations for 2021 and 2022.
Does your driver's license have the gold star on it? If it doesn't, your time is running out to get one. Working for you, John Matteries explains why it's so important.
Planning on flying next year? Well, now might be a good time to double check your driver's license, because if you don't have a new TSA approved one, you might not be flying anywhere. In less than 1 year, on October 1st, 2020, domestic air travelers will be required to have a real ID driver's license, an enhanced license that means you've passed a federal background check. Congress passed a law requiring these after 9/11. But the U.S. Travelers Association says fewer than half of all Americans do not yet have one, meaning you will not be allowed on an airplane 12 months from now. Real ID compliant licenses have a star up at the top. Now, to get one, you need to bring a birth certificate, marriage license, and proof of residence when applying. You cannot simply renew your old driver's license. A valid U.S. passport or a military ID will also be accepted, but the Travel Association says millions of Americans don't have those either. So get that new license before the big crowds arrive at motor vehicle offices next summer, so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
John, thank you. Well, Purdue will take to the field for their homecoming game this weekend. Just ahead in our Trending 6, why the team will look like they're from out of this world. We'll be right back.
Before you head out the door, it is time for the Trending 6.
That's right. And these are some of the stories that everyone's talking about today that you're going to want to know all about.
They were friends on television for 10 seasons, and now 25 years later, their real-life friendship continues to flourish. Monica, Rachel, and Joey posed for this selfie over the weekend. Courtney Cox posted it to her Instagram page, much to the delight of Friends fans. She captioned the photo, "A rare night, and I love it." Maybe one day they'll finally go for that reunion.
Very cool. Well, everyone seems to be getting into the Halloween holiday spirit. Just take a look at this Italian restaurant in Pennsylvania. They just got a spooky makeover. The folks at Angelo's 2 in a town south of Pittsburgh clearly take their holiday decorations seriously. But spaghetti slurping patrons beware. There's no telling what's lurking inside.
All rise. Her Honor Barbie is headed into the courtroom. Mattel is introducing Judge Barbie, complete with a traditional black robe and tiny gavel. She's also sporting a lacy white collar that looks just like the one Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg wears. The head of Barbie, Mattel, hopes girls will enjoy playing with the dolls and imagine themselves protecting the rights of others. Love it.
Well, instead of having your name in lights, how about adding your name to the moon among the stars? Scientists are giving you the chance to name one of 20 newly discovered moons around Saturn. To enter the contest, they say just tweet your suggested name to Saturn Lunacy with the hashtag #NameSaturn'sMoons. The contest ends on December 6th.
The Purdue football team will have a different look for their homecoming game on Saturday against Maryland. Purdue unveiled moon-themed uniforms. If you look closely, you can see moon-like craters on the P logo on the helmet. Those helmets are also white with a gold face mask. Purdue's homecoming game against Maryland kicks off at noon Saturday at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette. Let's hope our Boilers do better than they did last weekend.
Yes. Well, a proud Texas mom is sharing this video of her daughter's huge accomplishment with the world. Shows her 6-year-old Love Johnson taking her first unaided steps. Love has cerebral palsy and has never walked before on her own. So her mom posted this video to social media. Johnson says her daughter is a hero.
Wow,
Good
that
for
is
her.
a big achievement.
Yeah. Oh. Love that video. Inspiring a lot of other kids, I'm sure, and
Absolutely,
parents.
absolutely. Alyssa, let's take a look at the weather now. There's a bit of a bite when you walk out the door this morning.
It's a chilly start, but it's going to be a beautiful day. So if you can get through the morning, we are in good shape for this afternoon. 72 for our high today. And then you can see as we head through the 7-day forecast, we're climbing a little bit each day. 75 for tomorrow. 79 for Thursday, and then we have that potential of showers and storms coming in late Friday. 58 by Saturday, so we are cooling off a little bit with the coolest air mass that we've seen this season settling into place on Saturday before we're back into the low 60s on Sunday and Monday.
Alyssa, thank you. A Central Indiana woman is free this morning after spending time in jail for a crime she didn't commit. Ahead this morning, why she's concerned it's going to happen to other people.
With Indy Appeal. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
I'm Kelsey Anderson, live outside of the Eskenazi Hospital, where 5 people are being treated after an early morning fire on Indianapolis' east side. I'll have a live update coming up.
A woman's now out of jail, but she's wondering why it took police so long to free her for a crime she didn't commit. how this was all a case of mistaken identity.
And some people who live in Carmel are not happy about new cell phone towers, even if it could help their phones run faster. Why they're afraid the technology is actually a health risk. 6:30 on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Alyssa Donovan is here to break down the forecast. Skipping ahead of myself. And we're talking about the fall weather. It feels chilly out there. Maybe one of the first mornings we felt this. Alyssa.
Yeah, it's really the coolest morning that we've had this fall season, and you're definitely going to notice it as you step outside. We aren't too bad here in Indianapolis, but there are some fringe areas that it is cooler to the north. Some spots even starting in the 30s this morning. We haven't seen those temperatures in a really long time. 38 degrees right now in Crawfordsville, 43 in Lafayette and Tipton. We're at 50 degrees in Indianapolis, but I want to warn you, those temperatures are still falling, so likely going to see Indianapolis into the upper 40s this morning as you head out the door. If you are still getting ready and about to head out in the next couple hours here, those temperatures are dropping off. That's all due to these clear skies that we had overnight. That's due to that ridge of high pressure in place, not a cloud in the sky. That allowed for that radiational cooling overnight, taking those temperatures way down. However, it's also going to allow for some very quick daytime heating today. So plenty of sunshine throughout your day. And as we head through the day, temperatures will hit 54 right around 10 a.m., 65 around the noon hour. We do have some chances of showers and storms in the 7-day. All of those details coming up.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much for keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out the door to kick off your Tuesday. And here's a look right now on the north side of town. Lots of headlights up here at I-465 and Ditch Road. We had a few slowdowns a little bit in the westbound lanes, but it looks like right now everything is getting by and you shouldn't have too many delays here on the north side. We'll keep an eye out for any crashes or delays around the metro area and keep you updated this morning. We are following some breaking news this morning. 5 people are in the hospital after a fire at an apartment complex east of Indianapolis.
We know among those 5, a woman and 4 police officers were injured in that fire. Our Kelsey Anderson has been at the hospital all morning long. She joins us live with what we know so far. Kelsey.
Yeah, that's right. So 5 people were transported here to Eskenazi Hospital. A woman whose apartment caught fire this morning at Cumberland Manor Apartments on Indy's east side, and 4 officers. And we're told by fire officials on the ground that an IMPD officer is being hailed a hero this morning because he broke down the door and carried a 7-year-old to safety at that fire. So take a look at this video of the scene from earlier this morning. They say a kitchen fire started in one of the apartments and now 9 people are displaced. While at the scene, we were told the mother of the 7-year-old that was carried out was one of the people transported to the hospital. They tell us a man jumped off the balcony to safety. We are still working to find out what started that fire, but fire officials on scene say given the time and the type of fire, this situation could have been a lot worse. We are told the woman and the 2 officers were transported here to Eskenazi from the scene this morning, and then 2 other IMPD officers were transported after getting it back to the station and taking roll call. Live in Indianapolis, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. We'll continue to follow that story for the rest of this morning. This morning, police are still looking for suspects in a shooting that left 1 person dead and another in critical condition. The shooting happened around 4:30 Monday afternoon at an apartment complex on the south side. Police found the victims near Southport Crossing Apartments, and Call 6 Investigate sources say drugs may be at the center of the violence. So far, the names of the victims have not been released.
At 6:34 also this morning, we're still waiting for an update from Metro Police on a person of interest connected to that homicide in Broad Ripple. Just before 5 o'clock Monday afternoon, detectives tell us that they found a woman who was shown in these pictures just hours after asking for the public's help to find her. 36-year-old Al Hayes was shot and killed near Connor's Pub last Thursday. That shooting remains under investigation. If you think you have information that could help police find the shooting suspect, you should contact IMPD or Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana. That number is 317-262-TIPS.
The FBI is asking for the public's help to connect dozens of victims to the confessions made by a convicted serial killer. Samuel Little is 79 years old and has confessed to more than 90 murders across the country, including several in the Midwest between 1970 and 2005, including some here in Indiana. The FBI says all of his confessions appear to be credible. He was arrested in 2012 and is now serving life in prison. Law enforcement have been able to verify 50 of Little's confessions, but that leaves dozens of victims still unnamed and yet to be found. A woman from Speedway is finally out of jail and back at home after she was held in custody all weekend for a crime she did not commit.
Yeah, last week, Kristen Parr's brother reached out to RTV6 for help. Parr's driver's license was stolen back in February, and it was recently used for a second time to test drive a car that was never returned to the dealership in Greenfield. Police arrested Parr, though she tried to explain that she was the victim of identity theft. Despite that, she spent 3 nights in Hancock County Jail, in part because the city and county offices were closed last Friday for the annual Riley Festival.
You feel like she's doing the right thing. She's answering the questions. She's going to talk to the right people. However, it still ended in the way it did.
I stand behind what my officers have done to this date, but I also feel like that I'm going to have a conversation with her and let her know our side of the story, and to help maybe let her better understand where we're coming from. It doesn't make it any better, it doesn't make it right, but I just feel like that I owe that to her.
Well, all her charges against Parr have been dropped. Police are still looking for the person who used Parr's ID to test drive that car. Anyone with any information on the suspect is asked to call police at 317-477-4410.
Carmel City Council members are reviewing information about these small cell towers after several people spoke out against installing them in their community. Residents fear that the towers are a potential health risk, and they want the council to stop more from going up. Call 6 Investigates told you last week companies like Verizon and AT&T don't have to notify anyone when and where they put them up. Gail Thomas tells RTV6 she and many others want more research done on how 5G technology could impact their health.
We just need more information before we can really just relax and feel safe that this is guaranteed, that we can know that it's safe.
CTIA represents the U.S. wireless communications industry. It says the current scientific evidence available shows there's no health risk with these small cell towers. The Carmel City Council didn't take any action at last night's meeting, but they do say they plan to look into residents' 5G concerns and give the community some answers once they're up to speed.
At 6:37, a 4th person has now died after a plane that took off from right here in central Indiana crashed in Michigan. One person is in critical condition, and the condition of a second survivor is unknown at this time. The plane went down a while after approaching the runway at Capital Region International Airport up in Lansing on Thursday, and it was a flight from Indianapolis South Greenwood Airport.
This morning, a woman hopes you'll help her track down a hit-and-run driver that left her brand new car totaled. Chelsea Haraway was out for drinks with friends for her birthday last Wednesday. She decided to get an Uber home and leave her car parked along Broad Ripple Avenue. The next morning, she found her car up on the sidewalk and the driver's side with extensive damage.
It just hurts knowing that I tried to do the right thing and Uber home, yet someone else didn't. That could have been a person that you hit. There's already enough going on in Broad Ripple and already enough bad things happening everywhere. We don't need any more situations like this.
Chelsea was able to track down surveillance video showing the crash happen. If you know anything about the driver involved in this hit-and-run crash, or you see a vehicle with damage on the right side, you can contact Crime Stoppers at 317-2626.
A Central Indiana school district tells RTV6 it's reviewing its policies and procedures after accusations of lunch shaming. Shayna Lawson tells RTV6 that her 2nd and 5th grade daughters came home crying from Harney Elementary School in Lebanon last week. Lawson says the girls were denied breakfast Thursday morning because she did not reload their accounts on time. She says her daughters were so embarrassed that they didn't want to go back to the school.
They were crying, "Mom, please just homeschool me, Mom." And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could. Just pull them aside and tell them, hey, you need to bring money in instead of saying it in front of all the kids. That's wrong.
Lebanon Community Schools says that students cannot buy anything when there's no money on their accounts, but an alternate menu option is available. The district also says that it notifies parents twice weekly about those low account balances, and when a balance goes negative, a letter is sent home explaining the process to apply for free or reduced price meals. Officials say they welcome assisting families with any questions regarding food services and payments. Major cases involving the future rights for gays, lesbians, and the transgender community. Next year on Good Morning Indiana, how the Supreme Court could redefine a landmark law to include millions of Americans.
Another major store says it's done with vaping. Coming up, the grocery chain that's joining other stores in ending the sale of e-cigarettes and other vaping materials. Alyssa.
And we have a warming trend on the way this week. We're starting in the low 70s today, climbing close to 80 by Thursday. Then we do have some changes behind that just in time for the weekend. All of those details coming up next. You're watching Good Morning Indiana.
Shine brighter than you ever thought possible.
Welcome back. 6:42 here on your Tuesday. And here's a live look at traffic on the north side where things are really picking up this morning. I-465, this is near Ditch Road. Everything's traveling up to speed. No major crashes or issues around the metro area to slow you down at this hour. Well, it could be one of the most significant issues the Supreme Court has dealt with in decades. Can you be fired for being gay or transgender?
As ABC's Elizabeth Hurd tells us, the cases being heard today are the first to address whether federal anti-discrimination laws protect LGBTQ workers.
This morning, gay and transgender rights are in the spotlight as the Supreme Court returns to session. In 3 potentially landmark cases, the High Court is expected to decide whether millions of LGBTQ Americans are protected under federal anti-discrimination laws, which prohibit employers from terminating workers because of their sex.
The day is finally here.
It's the first time a transgender civil rights case comes before the court. Amy Stevens says she was fired from her job as a funeral director in Detroit after she revealed her plans to transition from male to female.
Here I put the time in, done my job and did it very well. And now all of a sudden they don't need me anymore.
The funeral home says Stevens was fired for not complying with the dress code for men, even though she was dressed professionally as a woman. The court will also hear the case of Gerald Bostock, who was fired from his job with Child Welfare Services in Clayton County, Georgia. The county fired Bostock after claiming an audit found he had misspent money. But Bostock says he was fired after joining a gay softball league.
Within months of that decision, there were negative comments about my sexual orientation. There were disparaging comments about the fact I was participating in a gay softball.
The third case involves a former skydiving instructor from New York. Donald Zarda was fired in 2010 after telling a female client who was strapped to him for a jump not to worry about the close contact because he was, quote, 100% gay. The skydiving company insists he was not fired because of his sexual orientation, but because he shared inappropriate personal information with a client. Zarda's sister is pursuing the case even after Donald died in an accident in 2014. Elizabeth Hurd, ABC News, New York.
Well, one of the candidates running for Congress in 2020 is suspending his campaign. Republican Steve Braun announced that he's taking time off from his campaign for the 5th District seat in Congress for health reasons. He didn't specify the exact health issue. Braun is the brother of Indiana Senator Mike Braun. And as Braun takes some time off, another person is joining that 5th District race. Former BMV Commissioner Kent Abernathy is the 6th Republican seeking the seat, being given up by retiring Congresswoman Susan Brooks. Before becoming BMV Commissioner, Abernathy worked in commercial banking in New York. He's also a retired Army colonel.
Today is the first day you can vote early ahead of the municipal election on November 5th. Council races and some school referendums are on ballots across the state. One of the biggest races locally is for mayor of Indianapolis. Incumbent Mayor Joe Hogsett faces Republican challenger Jim Merritt. You can vote early at the Marion County Clerk's office or one of 4 satellite voting locations in the county.
It's 6:46. After more than 22 deaths connected to vaping, Kroger has become the latest store to say it will no longer sell e-cigarettes. Kroger says it will sell off its remaining stock and then halt e-cigarette sales. Investigators have still not identified the definite cause or connection between more than 1,000 lung injury cases connecting to those products. Walmart and Walgreens have already announced that they were ending the sales of vaping materials. In Washington, there's a new bill that seeks to make change to the e-cigarette industry by creating a cap on nicotine levels. An Illinois congressman introduced the legislation on Monday. The bill would restrict nicotine content to no more than 20 milligrams per milliliter to make them less addictive. Right now, there is not a national cap on nicotine that exists. Experts say high nicotine concentrations have played a role in what they describe as an epidemic of vaping among the youth.
The Marion County Health Department is offering low-cost flu vaccines at special walk-in clinics this month. 2 will be held today. One goes from 9 to 11 this morning at Old Bethel Church on East 21st Street. The second goes from 9 to noon at Southport Presbyterian Church on McFarland Boulevard. The shots cost $20 for adults and children ages 2 to 18. The vaccine is free for children under 2 years old. And at 6:47, I have nothing to say. I'm speechless.
It's a 2 for Tuesday.
That cuteness.
That is very cute.
My gosh. I'm overwhelmed.
Aquaman and Big Blue. Are they not the cutest ones you've ever seen?
Wow.
Golden Retriever puppies. Golden Retrievers are my favorite. Adorable start to your Tuesday. I knew you guys would like that.
I mean, I don't like it. I love it.
Do you love it?
I'm in love with those guys.
I know, they're
gosh.
so cute. And it's going to be a great day to get outside and walk your pups, no matter their age. 45 at 7 a.m. this morning, so it's going to be a cool start today. But you can see those temperatures climb. We'll be into the low 70s this afternoon with mostly sunny skies throughout the day. Those clear skies right now, that's why we are seeing those cooler temperatures. That's allowed us some radiational cooling overnight. We've seen those calm winds and not a lot of cloud coverage, which is why we are starting so cool this morning and still dropping off with those temperatures. High pressure is in control right now. That's going to continue to bring us some warmer temperatures today. So we'll warm very quickly because of that sunshine we're going to see, allowing for that daytime heating. So we are going to warm a little bit more each day because of this high pressure that's in control. Behind that, low pressure is going to move in. That's going to happen by Thursday and into Friday. Most of the activity, though, is expected Friday afternoon, evening, and overnight into early Saturday morning. But you can see this is quite the low pressure system that's going to push that cold front across. So we do have the potential of some showers, heavier rain, possibly some thunderstorms mixed in there as well. And you can see it is going to bring us some snow to the north, right around Minneapolis. They are expecting some snow with this system. So we are seeing some changes as that moves through. That's going to happen Friday. And then behind that, much cooler air. We're going to see the coolest air mass of the season settle in. So we'll start with a warming trend this week. Those temperatures in the low 70s today, mid 70s tomorrow, upper 70s by Thursday and Friday before we plummet by Saturday. 58 degrees for our high on Saturday. Those morning lows going to be in the 40s. So we are going to see those changes coming our way. Tomorrow morning, another cool start. We'll be in the 40s at most locations, low 40s to the north. That's due to those clear skies. And thanks to those clear skies, you're actually going to be able to see the International Space Station tonight. That flyover happening tonight around 7:57 p.m. in the northwest area. That's going to pass about 60 degrees above the horizon. If you're interested in that, you're going to have to watch very quickly because it'll disappear right around 8:03 p.m. this evening. So very quick, but if you want to see it, you can. 46 degrees to start today. A cool start. Those clear skies sticking with us for the next couple days. 72 degrees for our high today. Sunny skies. It's really going to be a beautiful fall day today. Tomorrow, 75, 79 by Thursday. Staying warm on Friday. That potential of showers and storms move in. And then Saturday, 58 degrees for the high.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic. No crashes to report around the metro area at this time. Here's a live look at your commute over on the west side. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 and US 40 Washington Street over here. And you can see traffic is moving along just fine northbound and southbound along your interstate. No issues here to slow you down.
If you're a nurse or a recent graduate looking for work, Eskenazi Health is holding a nurse networking career event tomorrow. There are 2 sessions, one at 3 and one at 4:30. You only need to attend 1 session. The event will be held in the Rapp Family Conference Center. That's on the first floor of the Eskenazi Health Outpatient Care Center. RSVPs are encouraged but not required. For more information, you can check out Career Resources tab at hiringhoosiers.com.
And this morning, 2 major retailers are hiring ahead of the holiday season. Best Buy will be hosting hiring fairs on Thursday and Friday of this week, and you may walk out with a job offer. These fairs will take place at Best Buy stores and run from noon until 7 on both days. And Dick's Sporting Goods also has job openings. The company plans to hire about 145 seasonal employees around Indianapolis as part of National Signing Day on October 16th. You can just visit a Dick's location on that day to be interviewed and meet the team. There are 8 stores here in the Indianapolis area.
There are bat flips, and then there is what a legendary St. Louis Cardinal pulled off. We'll show you the big play that had him and the rest of St. Louis celebrating.
And the prosecutor in the college admissions scandal talking to reporters for the first time. Coming up on Good Morning America, why he says Lori Loughlin should be worried. We'll be right back.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
It's 6:55. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Here's a live look at your commute on the south side, I-465 near Madison Avenue. Looks like traffic here is picking up, both eastbound and westbound traveling up to speed. We had some overnight road work in the eastbound right lane. Looks like that is wrapped up this morning.
Bat flipping after a big hit in baseball happens quite a bit nowadays, but this may have been one of the biggest. It happened after Yadier Molina hit a sacrifice fly in the 10th inning to give the Cardinals a 5-4 win over the Braves, tying their division series at 2 games each. Molina never put his bat down after it touched the ball, and after winning the game, the winning run came across. There it goes. Sure hope that didn't hit somebody somewhere in St. Louis. The deciding Game 5 of the series is tomorrow. Speaking of St. Louis, next time you're there, you might have a chance to try out a new concept in going out for a drink or 2 or more. There's a new bar that doesn't charge you by the drink.
Yeah, so the bar is called Open Concept, and instead of charging you for each drink that you order, they charge you for the amount of time that you spend there. So you've paid $10 per hour for access to the open bar serving batched cocktails as well as draft beer and wine. So in case you're wondering what could possibly go wrong with that idea, the owner says there are some safety measures in place, and they include using your height and weight to assign a certain number of drinks per hour to keep the bar in compliance with legal limits and to keep you from having too much to drink. I'm very curious as to how that would work out.
I got a lot to say about that.
How much do you weigh?
First of all, I don't need some stranger bartender knowing my height and weight. Also, what if you're someone who just wants to spend time with your friends? What if you're a pregnant woman who wants to spend time with your friends?
Then that's
obviously
a lot of things.
Right. Yeah, there are a lot of things that are.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, Alyssa, if you're heading out today, chilly, you may want to grab a jacket.
It's a chilly start today. Temperatures in the 40s at most locations right now and still dropping off a little bit this morning. 72 for our high today. It's going to be a beautiful fall day, so just get through the morning, and then we are going to warm up quickly. A little bit warmer each day this week until Friday. That's when we see those changes come in, showers and thunderstorms Friday night.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much, and thanks for joining us. We're back here in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America.
We hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thanks for watching.